fuck you. You know, I didn't say it, but in my head, I'm like, fuck you, bitch. She comes over to me. She's like, oh, it's okay. God is with you. I'm like, God better be with you, bitch, and your boyfriend, because you about to meet him right now. Nah. I didn't say that, but I was just like, if this bitch says another thing to me, I'm going to jail. Like, it's it. I'm gonna do time for sure.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Serbs. Back in the motherfucking place to be, La Merca Superior, Palace 81 Studios, live in effect, live and direct, time and time again, once again, numero 78 or 9. Now I really got to check my own, I got to check my own videos now because I've done so many and then now I'm fucking confused. 78? 78, yeah, 78. Yup, Vudu fries. I just had the Wingstop Louisiana Vudu fries. I gotta drop those videos I made on TikTok because TikTok is going up, bro. I don't know what it is, but TikTok, I be getting more fucking views than anything. And my Instagram, Twitter combined and shit. I think it took, what is it? 3 years for Sip and Burb to get to 17,000 plays, which is like a long time, you know. There's artists who make 17,000 in a day, but you know, I'm not Travis Scott. I'm not one of these people that's out here that has financial help. I'm just doing it gangster style on my own. And independently, I run my own business, you know, so there's a difference with that. I'm trying to adjust the microphone over here. I don't know what's going on. All right, I don't want you to see the mic though. I don't like how you could look at I don't even want y'all looking at this shit. I don't want no distractions. You know what I mean? But anyway, with the whole TikTok thing, it's kind of ridiculous how people they get like a huge following on TikTok with their videos, and people are literally TikTok superstars. So I don't even know how that works. I would love to one day wake up and have a bunch of views, a bunch of likes and stuff like that. Granted, I do more than I've ever like had it, but that's more so the food reviews. I don't want to be famous for food reviews. Granted, Action Bronson did kind of get famous off of his food reviews. I want to say he was the first, he's like the one and only rapper to get on from his like show, like it's not even a cooking show. It's like a food traveling show, kind of like something between like an Anthony Bourdain and something else, you know. Shout out to Action Bronson. He really did create a lane for pretty much all rapper food people. Like Nori had his own show. I think it was only one season, but like you could tell after Action Bronson they try to run with a whole bunch of shows. Like Action Bronson's like somewhere between like the Guy Fieri and the Anthony Bourdain show, and I think it's really dope. But with TikTok, I find that I'm getting more views on my food reviews and not really on the podcast or like my music. So I think I'm going to just divvy it up into each channels, like have the Herbs of Serbs, my main channel, that'll be for my music, and then make what is it? The God's Hour Clips channel, because it's convoluted, and I already see like with the herbs and serves, that's going off and popping because people know it's one thing. With my main channel, I see people, like, most of my interactions are coming from like the shit talking that I say. I'll post a video talking shit about something, or it'll be a God's Hour clip, and I don't really want to convolute that with other shit. So the main channel might just be for the God's Hour clips, or I'll put a God's Hour clips channel up there. I don't know, but I think TikTok is wild, bro. Like, I know it's supposed to be for kids and stuff like that, but I literally seen a live with two dudes in prison. They were on live and they had a huge following. They had people, they were saying, oh, drop, where you are. And they were saying people from Germany, Australia, New England and all this stuff. And I'm like, hold up, bruh. How are two dudes in prison, even having a phone, allowed to have a live, and they're just talking, and they're not, like, how is that crazy? I thought that was crazy, but what blew my mind, blew my fucking socks off, was the fact that I'm seeing people sleeping on TikTok live, and people are putting emojis or donating money, and they have like a soundboard like right where they're sleeping, so it's like you hear sounds like wake up, like hee haw or whatever the fuck. I'm like, this is what people watch in their free time? Other people sleeping, other people doing random shit. Granted, I do go live, but I try to give you an experience. With the God's Hour, I try to give you an experience. We talk some shit about real life, or we get into some other things like that. There's a purpose. There's a goal here. When you're just sleeping on live, when you're incarcerated in prison, what the fuck? What is there to watch? It's kind of like, I would, if I had, if I had no form of respect, I'd be like, yo, wake the fuck up and go do something, entertain me, or, have fun making that Jack Mac or whatever it is, they're doing in prison right now. But I just think TikTok is wild, bro. TikTok goes the clock for really, though. Pope Benedict the 16th, he passed away. Dick Gregory said the Pope is the most powerful man in the world. I don't know how that goes. I really don't want to know how that goes. I just know that I don't really like religion. I don't really like the Bible, because people, a lot of Christians, Catholics, any people who follow any forms of Catholicism, they live their lives by the Bible. And I feel like a lot of what the Bible was originally written for isn't what you should really be taking into account 100% to this day. Like, one of my coworkers, she was talking to me. I was telling her, like, I would fucking get like hit, or not all the time, but I was disciplined and I got hit with the belt and I got fucking my ass beat at times. And she's like, well, yeah, that saves you from going to hell. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, yeah. And she pulled up a Bible scripture that the people that get hit or some crazy shit was like they get saved from hell or something. And I'm like, girl, lady, I don't like, where do people even get shit? Like, I really hate when people try to like live their lives 100% according to some like shit that's not really relevant. Like, the Bible changed a million times from its original, what the Bible is, in my opinion, because there's so many Bibles that have come out. It's like playing telephone. People just hear what they want to hear and run with what they want to run with. If you go to like the Quran or the Torah or all these original Bibles that came out thousands of years ago, they all say kind of the same shit, but it's different, but it serves like its own purpose. So I really don't understand people that are all gung-ho about religion like that. I do know I'm into like Lukumi and stuff like that. I'm like 50-50 with being initiated, because with Mexicanos specifically, we don't really have a religion where you get initiated like that. It's kind of more so you go to church and that you might get baptized and that's pretty much it. You don't do it because it saves you from going to hell necessarily. It's more so that's just what our people do. And I know my grandma, my grandpa, they weren't big religious. They didn't have no crazy ceremonial religious things and stuff that they do. I do, like, I have my candles, I have my scapulario, I have certain things of my faith, but that's me. That's not me saying, oh, I look at the Bible and you know, I'm not 100% on one certain thing. It's kind of like we have our own Santissima. You know, like back in the Mayans, back during the Mayan times, we had different gods and goddesses that were based on the beliefs of like harvesting and agriculture and things of that nature. But like I said, those practices pertain to what was going on at that time. So pretty much what I'm saying is religion is sort of this thing where people live by because it's sort of a way for them to kind of get on track and not to lose track of, like, I guess they're either their sanity or whatever the fuck they got going on in their lives, which is cool. I'm not knocking nobody, but I think it's kind of corny that, like, one of my coworkers, she was just telling me shit from the Bible, and I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying. If that works for you, that works for you, but I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe in like Jesus Christ like that, where, you know, Jesus is watching you, Jesus loves you, and the fish and all that shit. Granted, if it works for you, that works. I'm not trying to knock nobody. I'm just saying, for me personally, I think it's just kind of far-fetched, and I don't believe 100% in the ideas. I've had baptism. I've been confirmed as a Catholic, but you know, who like, people think you have to be a by the book Christian or whatever. Like, you have to be going to church every Sunday with the books and the prayers and all that shit. I just think that if everyone had everyone should have their own interpretation of God, and everyone should have their own ways of worship, rather than just trying to be like, well, if you're not this, you're going to hell, and if you don't believe in this, then you're wrong. Because to me, it all kind of stems from like this cult following that anytime there's a mob mentality, it's always bad. It's always going to be some bullshit, in my opinion. I think, you know, that's not to slander the religions or anything like that. I just think people kind of get in over their heads, you know what I mean? And with Lukumi or any other kind of Santissimas that are out there, it's like anything, you know, you do see the beautiful parts of the religion, but then there's also, you know, the people, they do certain things that they're not supposed to do, or they sin, and they think just because that they practice a certain religion that they're going to be saved from the bullshit that they do. And I don't think that's right. I think if you really repent and you really do have remorse in your life, you're going to do it without the religion, you know? And that's all I'm saying. So rest in peace to the Pope. I just wanted to bring that up because it was like a big thing. The Pope is a lifelong thing, you know? And I think it's pretty crazy, you know what I mean? I don't know how the whole system works, but, you know, God bless him. I hope we get a Pope that actually changes things and looks like it's a change or symbols of change. You know, a Pope that actually stands up and says, hey, the war in Ukraine is bad, that this is that, you know what I mean? Like, the Pope came in Mexico. I don't know what the fuck he said, but I wish a Pope would come down and be like, yo, we need to stop all the drugs, stop all the killings, because it's really hurting us. Nobody's really doing that, because if the Pope did that, there's a big religious belief system in Mexico. And if the Pope did that, it will kind of like be like, it would shake shit up for sure. So I just feel like, I just feel if people really would apply themselves instead of believing in applications, the world would be different. That's my whole take on it. You know, I don't want anybody to get mad. I don't want this. This is the God's hour, so we're going to talk about it. I just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, or I don't even want to try to, you know what I mean? I'm just expressing the difference of opinion. Like, when people, they they all stand up for the flag. I never stood up for the flag, bro, or at least I never tried to, like, cause I could care less. My grandpa, he served in World War II, and my mom was just talking about this with me, like, you know, your fucking grandpa served, you know, you should be standing up for the flag. And I'm like, that's why I'm sitting down. That's why I'm not standing up, because my grandpa fought for the war and he fought for my right so I could take a seat whenever the fuck I wanted. And I think it's bullshit that the only thing that they did for my grandpa was shoot guns in the air, boo, boo, and that was it. That was, you know, there wasn't, they didn't, Uncle Sam didn't knock on my grandpa's door and give him no favors. Like, my grandpa, if he really felt like this was the country that was it, he would have stayed here. My grandpa didn't stay here, bro. My grandpa stayed in Mexico. If America, he fought for America and he stayed in Mexico. What does that tell you? It tells you whatever was here, he wasn't down with, you know. And this is, we're talking about the 40s, bro. We're talking about the 40s and even 50s, where shit was dirt cheap and you could raise a family here off of one job. It's not like that anymore. So what I'm really trying to say is, exercise your right. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a fucking follower. Just because I'm sitting down while everyone's standing, there's like some old dudes. I'm pretty sure they were veterans or something, but they were like, stand up for the flag. I'm like, what are you gonna do, bruh? You ain't gonna you want me to stand up? Make me stand up. How about that? You know? Because I'm willing to die for my rights. What about you? You just want to make it look like you standing up for your rights when you really don't know what the fuck you're doing out here. Who the fuck you think you are, bro? You can't change nobody else's mentalities. I don't want to change nobody else's mentalities. But you're not going to tell me how to live my life and my decisions and my choices based on the programming and brainwashing that you received as a kid or whatever the fuck, you know? So that's all I'm saying, buddy. You get what I'm saying, buddy? You know what I mean? It's kind of simple mathematics. You know what I mean? 1 + 1 = 2. You know. So FireWater Bar, I did my performance. What was it? Friday, and it was Noah James's birthday. Happy birthday to Noah James again. And it was really cool. Like, it seemed different. Like, this time around, I've been almost all the Audio Dope events at FireWater so far. I think I only missed like 1 or maybe even 2, but I kind of got off a little track. Oh yeah, it was super big. So I leave early. I'm not gonna stick around. I'm not really gonna, you know, I'm an early bird, man. I can't be out here till 12, 1 in the morning. I'm not gonna do that. Noah, just give me a 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest spot, and I'm out, bro. You know, I wish I could stay, but I'm tired, bro. And I don't want to be around a bunch of drunk motherfuckers, and that's all it is, bro. Mostly because I want to sleep, and I wake up early, and I want to get my shit going, you know, how I do it. But with Noah James's event, it was a lot of people there, bro, to the point where everybody was blocking each other in the parking lot, and they had to make an announcement for me. Shout out to Cam Gnarly and A Sincere. They were like, yo, if you have a black Nissan Altima, you're blocking someone who's trying to go home. And I was like, yo, somebody's going home, whether it's me, whether it's somebody. And it was funny because Cam Gnarly was like, man, you better move your car before he makes that shit turn into a Honda, or he turns that shit to a Honda. Cam Gnarly's hilarious. I love that shit. Shout out to him too. Somebody was up there performing, and they said something about, I don't know how to say your name, Cam Gnarly. I'm like, that's his name now, Cam Gnarly. That's hilarious. It was really dope. Noah had, you know, the people, they do the bitty bitty bonbons for A Sincere, the cookies and stuff. They had, obviously, the merchandise. Noah had his green room. It was a super green room because people were smoking there and shit like that. And he was like, yeah, Noah told me, he's like, yeah, you know, you could buy weed in there, you could smoke in there and shit. I was like, oh man, I would buy a bunch of weed if I smoke still and shit. But I was talking to him, you know, because, you know, I've been sober now, so there's no really reason for me to be around. There's people who smoke around me, and I remember when I first went to FireWater bar, it would kind of make me paranoid. Like I'd be like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna fucking start tripping out or something like that, because that was the reason why I stopped, because I was getting anxiety. I would get paranoid and stuff like that, and I'm still working on it now. I'm doing a lot better. You know, it kind of crescendoed like over the summer, where I would be like, I can't drink caffeine, like I can't be wired, or else I'm gonna be paranoid. I'm gonna go get anxiety. But it's just a day-to-day thing with me, where I just take a deep breath, you know, and it has nothing to do with meat. It has nothing to do with weed. It has everything to do with me, because I'm I'm traumatized by certain things, and I think that's what it is, just childhood trauma that I have to grow through, you know. So at FireWater, I performed Hawaiian Shells. I missed a few lines. And whenever I miss lines, I always laugh. Like if you see me, I miss like the first, not even the first line, but maybe like 2 or 3 words. And you could see me smiling like it's cool. I don't care, because bruh, Hawaiian Shells, I made like 5 albums since Hawaiian Shells. You know, you can't tell me shit about remembering my lyrics, because I make music all the fucking time. I write music constantly. So there's people who perform literally the same songs. If you've ever been to one of my FireWater performances, I should stop saying that because it's at FireWater, but Audio Dope. If you've ever been to an Audio Dope event, shout out to them, Lisa, you know, Calligraphy, A Sincere, Teresa, Jam Cam, all the homies out there, Noah. I don't perform the same songs. I perform the first time I went to FireWater Audio Dope was Bing Bong. Then I performed Mariana. I performed Mariana. Then I performed Macarena. Then I did my first show, my first full set, which was La Punta Huerca, Flores with Nelonius, Lunchtime Fritos, and Onto 900, and Your Laughter, produced by Brock Beats. After that, I did Southside Story, and then the last one I did Hawaiian Shell. So 6 shows I did, 5 open mics and 1 set I did. Everything was different. I didn't perform the same song again. I'll pull up early and I'll rehearse in my car. And, you know, I feel like that's kind of lost with artists. They just kind of want to have fun. They don't really take this thing seriously. They're drinking, they're smoking, they're doing whatever. And that was me. Like literally when I see the artists open micers and stuff like that, I'm like, that was me, bro. I mean, that's still me now, but I remember when I would just like, it was more about a vibe and going to the show and participating like that, versus now I really feel like this is my job. This is what I came to do. I came to perform. I came to give you all a show. And that's how I treat it. When I'm on the stage, I'm kind of more reserved, more shy. But that's kind of why I'm showing up every time the Audio Dope, because it's right in my backyard. I clock out, go straight to the venue. I do my thing, and that's where I'm trying to cut my teeth and perform. Really, what I should do is perform here, like in my room or whatever, and do it like that. But once I have people's phones in my face and I'm performing to a whole bunch of people I don't know, that's when it really sets in, and that's why I'm going every time. Because yeah, you could perform for nobody and think you Jay-Z, and you're doing you're pointing the fingers and you're doing the shimmies and all that. But once, literally, I performed when I did Mariana, I'm like, oh yeah, when at 2 minutes I'm gonna make a face like this, and like, you know, you think you have it all in your head, but as soon as you start performing, all that shit goes out the window. Unless you're like a seasoned professional like Noah James. He's done a shitload of shows. Me, I don't even think I've done 10 shows, including, I think I did 2 open mics with Chava Styles. No, 3 open mics with Chava Styles. One with Mufasa. or is that the 3? Because we went in Palm Springs, we did West Covina, Riverside, and San Bernardino. So I did 4 plus the 6. So yeah, I barely hit 10. I barely did 10 shows. You know what I mean? I wouldn't really call them shows. I would just call them all open mics. I did 9 open mics and 10 shows. I mean 10 shows. One show. And it's crazy because on the 9th open mic that I did, I performed Hawaiian Shells, and there happened to be like a really good dude, really cool dude with like a really good camera, performing everything. He had a really nice setup, mic, light, everything like that. And I wish I had learned how to network earlier and stuff like that, because there was footage. I don't think it exists anymore. But literally, like, one dude who videotaped me in Riverside, I'm kind of glad the footage isn't there. I mean, nah, I wish I still had the footage, to be honest, so they could see it. Like, I was all fat, you know what I mean? And I feel like the songs weren't even performance music. I mean, I still don't really have performance music anyway, but it just would have been really cool for me to just see the footage. And I think I told the guy verbally in person, like, yo, can you send me the footage? He followed me and he never sent me the footage. So that was the only thing that pisses me off. And from then, I made it a point to have somebody record my shows on my phone, because I can't rely on nobody. I really can't. You know, that's why I don't ask nobody for favors. I don't expect shit from nobody, because as soon as you have expectations, people are not going to meet them. They're just not. The guy, he probably doesn't have my footage. He probably deleted it. I told him to send it to me, and that's nobody's fault but mine. You know, I should have been vehemently after the show, the day after, the night after, right after, whenever, just been like, yo, can you send me my footage? Can you send me my footage? When I recorded at the show, I asked this dude, I'm like, yo, bro, here's my phone. Can you just record me? He's like, oh, no, I got you on my phone. You know, it's better quality. And they had already called my name up. I'm not going to argue with this guy and be like, no, bro, just record it on my phone. Like I asked you, you don't need to do nothing crazy. Just record me on my phone, because you don't need to say, I don't want to deal with you send it to me. I hate you. Don't make me do none of, don't make me have to go through that. Just do what the fuck I asked you to, and there's no problems. So he records it on the phone, but then we have the other guy who recorded it on his camera. After the show, I talk to the guy on the camera. We chop it up. I get his information. He sends me the footage like early in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Beautiful. This guy, it's been 3 days, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's been 3 days. He hasn't sent me my footage. And to top it off, 2 days later, he finally looks at me performing, and he comments on the post, oh, no credit? Oh, the next one's going to cost you. Like if that's his footage. I didn't even want to go back and forth in the comments. As a matter of fact, I'm going to delete that comment from my Instagram, because it pissed me off. And I didn't even answer it right away. I had to go get my hair cut. Shout out to Carlos. Freshest fade in the IE. One and none. Go get at your boys. And we need to get a discount too, Carlos. If I'm giving you customers, you got to give them like 5% off using code name The God's Hour Podcast, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, this guy, this DJ or whatever, he's like acting like a hotshot about this shit. Like, bro, I recorded Benny, the Butcher, and Griselda and all this stuff. I'm a G. I make beats and all this crazy shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I've heard this pitch from a lot of other people where they think they're the shit just because they've been around fandom or you know what I mean, like fame or big artists. It's like, that don't mean shit to me, bro. I met Conway, Benny, Westside. I met Griselda, bro. There's nothing too spectacular about that. I mean, it is dope. Like, it's cool that he did that, but don't try to make it be like, yeah, you know, food. Like, don't try to wipe your ass with that. You know, you just met Griselda, bro. Good for you. Like, who hasn't met Griselda, bro? You know, and people just don't have that mentality. People just people want to embellish on their like persona because they've done things that they thought they would never do, when it's like, bro, I've done the same thing, bro. So just don't break your hand patting yourself on the fucking back. And I just fucked my flash drive up. God damn it. So I hit the guy up directly on Instagram and I tell him, bro, that wasn't your footage. How could you even mistake a fucking 4K professional photographer's camera with an iPhone? I seen the performances he was recording and shit for other people. It's not the same. It's not even close. And yet this dude wants to like make it into a big thing. I messaged him, yo, can you just post a video on Instagram so I could take it? He hasn't even messaged me back. It's like, bro, you are a fucking novice. And there's no hard feelings. It's just like, don't try to come at me crazy and then you don't even have your shit together. Like when you say you're going to record me and you're going to send me my footage, that's your word. Don't try to come at me crazy or come at me sideways and then you're in the wrong already, bro. Like you're in the wrong, your attitude, tone wise, and then you're not even right in the first place. You're not even in the right in the first place. So I don't even really want to get too crazy in with the shit. This is why, just take my phone, record me. It's not a big deal. I don't give a fuck about the quality that much. I have a HD. It could do 4K. That's all I want. Just because you have a fucking iPhone, that doesn't automatically accept you into the secret social Freemasonry club where all the presidents get their dicks sucked by fucking Thai fucking hookers and shit like that. It takes you all over the world. No, bro. You just got a fucking iPhone that little Chinese kids made in somewhere in a fucking Himalayan mountain or something. Himalayas or somewhere else. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't think you're special just because you did a few things. Bro, you're not special. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? And again, this is no hatred. This is no nothing. This is come out of a place of passion. Because had you just recorded my performance on my phone like I asked you, we wouldn't have to go through this. I wouldn't even have to follow you on Instagram. I wouldn't even have to be nice to you, because that's the biggest thing. I don't want to be friends with nobody. I could care less about the friends I have in this game, because this game, there's a whole lot of people who swear their whole image is like they're better than everyone or they're the nicest person and shit. But when you meet them, they're genuine dickheads. Like, at heart, their whole character is a fucking glass shallow house, bruh, that's easily broken, you know, by a fucking beep, a poke to the belly, and it shatters your whole fucking character. So that's all I'm saying, bruh. The next time, I'm not even going to ask him. If I see him there, I'm going to be like, hey, can you record my fucking performance? Because this guy can't, you know. This motherfucker's like, nah, I really can't. I really can't depend on nobody, but you really can't depend on nobody but yourself, you know what I mean? Unless you build a team around you that could do that, like the cool homie who shot the footage for me. I think is ADVVS or something like that. Shout out to him. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. The homegirl Ray, creatively Ray, she's cool. You got NC, and that's pretty much it. 3 people. I barely know them. NC, I barely even went face to face with her. We only went face to face live, I say 3 times. You know, I don't know him. Ray, I don't know her. The guy I just met, I don't know him, you know? But these are people that stick to their word. They tell you what they're going to do. Ray, she even sent me a whole folder with my pictures when she told me it was going to be $20 a photo. She didn't have to give my photos to me for free. She didn't have to do that. But what I really love about her is that she stuck to her word. The guy, he recorded my footage. He gave it to me. I gave him a shout out on my Instagram. He stuck to his word. NC, we said we're going to do an album. In 7 months, this shit got done. 15 tracks. He stuck to his word. I'm all about respect, morals, and principles. I don't want to drag this out, but it just needs to be said, bro. Like, because there's too many people out here who think they could just do bullshit and slide with it. So many people out here. They're not men of their word. They're not men of morals. They're not men or women of principles. They don't really have no moral compass. They don't even have any code of ethics that they live by. They're just living, and they just want to pour shit on waffles and call it syrup. Shout out to Mock. I love that line. You know, it just gets frustrating sometimes, but these people remind you why it's so important to be sticking to your principles in life, because if you don't, you have shitheads like that who just go around not even knowing how fucking dumb they're acting. And that's just not how the way the game or the world spins, bruh. It's all about genuineness. So again, I wish Noah James a happy birthday. It seemed like he had fun. He brought out Cam Archer. That was really dope. The homie, I think his name is Nemi. He like was the best performance up until that point where I seen him. Like he basically killed the whole open mic, like all the open micers, including me. Like he destroyed that shit. His songs were really dope. So go check out his shit. But Noah James, you know, he threw a really like he's been doing a lot, and it's only fitting for Noah to. You know, he had his own like banda. He had a drummer there. I think he had like a whole band with him, you know, performing his songs, and I think that's beautiful, bro. Like that, the fact that he can make plays like that, and he's somebody that I really look up to as far as getting being an artist that knows what he wants, and he goes out and he does it. If he was like one of these other dickheads that they think they're too good to be doing shit, it would be like I would be looking at him like differently. But since he is a man of like, I could tell where his heart is just by talking to him. He's a really good dude, you know what I mean? So I think Noah James, he's gonna go really far in his career. Whether, you know, he makes it to superstardom or whatever it is like that. I feel like Noah James already has accolades, but whatever it is he wants to do, Noah, you could do it, bruh. You definitely have the right mindset, you know. Just keep applying pressure, bruh, and you can make anything happen. This is your boy, Cerbavelli. I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. I think I'll save my story for the end. I've been playing God of War. God of War is a crazy game. I already talked about it on the last episode. I've been kind of talking about it, but it really is the best game of all time, in my opinion. It has a great story. It's a good RPG. You could collect things. The fighting sequences is really dope. There's a lot of cool shit about God of War. I just love everything about it. The story, the character development. In the beginning, you could tell like Kratos and Atreus have like a really distant relationship, but as the game progresses, you see them connect more, and it's just it has really dope dynamics. And there's even themes of, you know, betrayal, fatherhood, you know, trauma, death, and there's a whole bunch of things that go into God of War. It's not just a game. It's more than a game. It's like GTA, kind of like GTA 4, where GTA 4 was just about a immigrant who was trying to make it, but the streets were like in his face, so he just had to be in it. That's what God of War is. It's like a dude, he's just trying to chill, he's trying to live his own life, and these people like fuck with him, and he has to be the God of War. So I think God of War took a lot of cues from GTA 4, but I'll say I'll have to play God of War a few times, which is crazy because I think GTA 4 was probably one of the most extensive stories I've ever completed. Like I think it takes like 35 hours to complete GTA, or is that GTA 5? They're around the same, like 30 hours, GTA 4, God of War. I'm at the part where you find out that the witch is like the god. She's a god. She's a goddess, and you revive Mimir. So I'm really excited. I don't know. I think I'm like a third of the way, or almost close to halfway. I just really love God of War. Go play that shit. I think it's one of the best games of all time. If I could put it down to 3, I'll say like GTA 4, 5, God of War for sure. I'd have to be on here thinking about video games and stuff, but for sure those are the 3 standouts, because I remember playing GTA 5. Like, they can't go nowhere higher than this, bruh, but they are. GTA 6 is going to be crazy. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is better than GTA 5. That's another game that's super fucking crazy. I would say God of War takes cues from those games as well, because they're just great games, you know? Did this mic lower? I have a feeling that this mic lowered. Let me see. If I put this up. If I put it up in the air, put your hands up in the air, put your hands up in the air. What song is that? There's so many like house songs that were popular. Like there's hoes in this house. There's like, that's an old song, bro. I remember hearing that on like the Kush House mixtape that was around, you know, in the early 2000s. There's a lot of shit, you know, there's hoes in this house. There's put your hands up in the air. There's a whole lot of like DJ shit that I really fuck with that is kind of old already, but you know, because hip hop is all about remixing and revitalizing songs. You know, the what was that one song where it's like that's my type, that's my type. Like that's a whole remix. I love hip hop. Hip hop is always like something that'll never be gone. It'll always be here around. It'll never go away like disco. It'll never go away like some like not garage band, like grunge rock or something like that. No offense to those genres, it's kind of like it's in its own lane. I've been listening to SONYA more, man, and me and NC, we killed that shit. I mean, I don't really mean to fucking dust my own coattails or however you talk about these fucking euphemisms, but SONYA is the best album I ever made. It's so awesome. I already knew what I made when I first made it, but now thinking about it, I don't even have a favorite song because I was playing it on live and nobody really had a favorite song. It was just kind of like the whole album is dope. And that's kind of my position too. I would just say Sunshine for me personally because I spoke about my cousin on it. You know, it's crazy because I spoke about Raul and Jaime, but I still got to talk about my grandpa, Ian, Josh, Roxy. There's still a lot of shit that I have to say, bro, which is crazy that I didn't get it all. I couldn't talk about the family on everybody. Theo Willie, you know, I couldn't talk about everybody. Elvira, my great grandma. There's a whole bunch of people I still have left to talk about, but on SONYA, I think I killed it from everything from the themes to the stories, the writing, everything. I think I killed it. I think NC murdered it. And it's so crazy because me and NC really do have this like mad villain thing going on where he's making the beats, he's doing his own thing, and then I'm just writing to him and I'm doing my own thing on it, and it works, bro. Like it really, I could really like, that's how you know an executive producer is only as good as the material he has, because and with NC, if his beats were subpar, but he was like, oh, these beats are for you, I made these beats for you, and they weren't good, it wouldn't have worked. But since he's like, yeah, man, you could just do whatever, I freaked it the way I always do it. I just find beats I dig, I know what I want to listen to, and I string it together, and it just works. I don't know how the fuck that happens, but SONYA is the best album of 2022. I'll say, yeah, even more. I love Makami, but Mike, I got you on this year. I got you. It's your boy. You know what I mean? Hey, I would have made a whole album for you. I still got beats in the tuck that you ain't even heard, bro. But your boy got you. I'm telling you right now, Mike. I got everybody. I got everybody. Rome, everybody. Y'all not fucking with SONYA, bro. Respectfully. I got this one. This year was 2022 was mine. 2023, y'all better be careful. We don't want to two-peat it. We 2 times headed for 3 times. Your self-esteem dies when your boom thighs get wetter for green dots. Woo! Shout out to Makami, bro. That's the God, Makami. I ain't never gonna let them forget, bro. Dump, homie. We dumping, bro. Never gonna let them forget the God Makami. Always gonna salute Griselda, everybody, the dump guys, the dump lords, the dump Olympians up in this bitch. You feel me? I didn't want to kill the vibe, but since we got the vibe going, rest in peace to Gangsta Boo of 3-6 Mafia. She did the verses against Bone Thugs and Harmony. So now it's Coops the Nigga, Lord Finesse, and now Gangsta Boo. Rest in peace. Peace and blessings to the whole family. You know what I mean? Prayers up for the whole familia out there. I wasn't too big in the 3-6 Mafia. I wasn't too big in the Gangsta Boo, but what I can tell you is it was my first car. I'm driving, right? And as I'm driving, I noticed the car in front of me brakes really hard. So if you don't brake really hard with it, you're gonna rear end them. So this car brakes really hard. I brake really hard. The car behind me doesn't stop, hits me, and I'm like nose to nose with the other car. And I wasn't at a complete stop. So when the car hit me from behind, it launched me into it was a truck too. So pretty much I've basically smashed the hood, the front of my car with the back of the truck. And then the bitch in front of me, she fell out like, oh, like fucking like a GTA. Like, you know, when you hit them and they just fly out and they're fucking dead. That's what happened with this bitch. I said, wow, I'm going to jail thanks to this motherfucking hole right here. And the first and what's so crazy is I'm like, I just remember, because I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting, you know, to come at a complete stop but I got like super whiplash, and I was like, it was the craziest feeling ever, because I was like fucking dazed and shit. I didn't really like I never really experienced whiplash before, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I remember just looking at my radio, and I don't know if it was this specific song, but I remember just a 3-6. I was bumping the 3-6 Mafia, whatever that has, sipping on some scissor. But I could have swore that song was on, you know, sipping. So while I'm like, oh, whiplash, you know, sipping on some scissor, sipping on some scissor, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I just thought it was like funny at that moment. I'm like, wow, I just got a, you know, car crash and 3-6s on, and I'm like, what the fuck? The first thing I do is I call my dad. My dad's like, you right? You good? Call the police. Call the police. You know, they told me. And maybe I'll tell like okay, so we're already here, right? So I was like mad as fuck that my car was totaled. And I was just right there. And the lady, I want to say the lady was driving, but she made it look like it was her boyfriend who was driving. But she tried to put it on me. Like when the sheriff got the statement, she was like, yeah, the car in front of us. She's talking about me. The car in front of us, he broke really fast. Like really fast. Like, bitch, that don't mean shit. What the fuck? Don't you know the fucking, what is it? The space. Don't you know what space is, bitch? Mind your manners. So I was just mad as fuck, like looking at her like, fuck you, you know, I didn't say it, but in my head, I'm like, fuck you, bitch. She comes over to me. She's like, oh, it's okay. God is with you. I'm like, God better be with you, bitch, and your boyfriend, because you about to meet him right now. Nah. I didn't say that, but I was just like, if this bitch says another thing to me, I'm going to jail. Like, I'm gonna do time for sure. But after the sheriff took my statement or whatever, you know, the sheriff was like, can you drive the car? And it's just the whole front was smashed in. The engine was running and everything. I started my car. He's like, all right, just do me a favor. Just go 20 down. Just take the streets. Don't go on the freeway. Just go 20 the most. Just go home and then just figure out whatever, because the tow truck guy was there for like the other people. I think what happened was with the lady in front of me, where she was like, oh, like making it dramatic. I think she was older, or she had like whatever. So I know, cause I got a check from that. Like cause you know, I told him I got whiplash and like I fucking got a little traumatized. Like, you know, kind of made it up a little. Not really, but you know, I got like I think I got like $500, you know. But like the lady in front of me, she probably ended up getting more money, because they, you know, I seen them take her out on a stretcher. So she actually, hopefully she did get compensated for her medical bills, because I didn't have to go to the hospital. I was cool. I was just mad as fuck. But as I'm reversing, I was bumping Chewy and Triz. I woke up this morning, my nigga, and everything was fucking great. Everything is great. I woke up this day, and you know what I mean? Like the sheriff and the tow truck guy were looking at me like, yo, what the fuck? They were laughing like, that's funny as hell. And I'm like, everything is great. My whole car is smashed in. Everything is great. Everything is great. Everything is, you know. So I was bumping 3-6 when I got rear-ended. It was like a whole, looking back on it, it's a funny fucking story. But while it happened, I was mad. I was pissed off. Shit could have went down, but God got me, and that's all that matters. I want to say again, rest in peace to Gangsta Boo and all the soldiers that lost their lives. And what the fuck am I even saying now? I'm just feeling good right now. So, you know, I want to say rest in peace to Gangsta Boo, peace and blessings, prayers to the family, loved ones, and everybody who's been affected, everybody in mourning, all the fans, everybody. This is the God's Hour.
Bash Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now, while the angels fly over my headstone.